Hey guys, tonight we're stepping into a smoky Aztec kitchen where the scent of toasted corn wraps around you like a warm blanket. Picture yourself kneeling on a woven mat, grinding maize on a stone metate, its gritty rhythm humming through your hands. The air's alive with chili and lime, and a clay pot simmers with something cheesy and rich. You're crafting a delicacy that's kept Aztecs thriving for centuries. But let's be real, you probably won't survive a day in their world without mastering this corn magic. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. But only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop a comment with your location and local time. I'm curious where you're chilling tonight. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You're in Tenochtitlan, the Aztec capital, its canals glinting under the sun, surrounded by women whose hands never stop moving. Grinding, patting, steaming. The corn in your metate isn't just food, it's life, sacred to the gods and packed with enough nutrients to fuel warriors and priests. Historical records from Aztec codices, like the Florentine Codex, show corn was central to their diet. By the 14th century, transformed into delicacies that blended maize with beans, chiles, and sometimes a cheesy, nutty paste. You're scraping the metate, your arms already aching, and the corn's turning into a soft dough, its earthy smell making your stomach growl. Here's the quirky bit: some Aztecs believed corn was born from a god's flesh, like a divine tortilla recipe. You're chuckling, imagining a god saying, "Take my arm, make a tamal!" But when a woman named Xochitl sprinkles maize on an altar, you're not laughing. Historians still argue whether corn's role was purely nutritional or spiritual. Did it just keep bellies full, or was it a sacred link to the gods? You're leaning toward both. Xochitl's reverence, like she's handling a holy relic, feels too deep for just calories. You're kneading the dough now, the kitchen's heat prickling your skin, catching the tang of roasting chiles. Xochitl's showing you how to mix in a paste. Maybe amaranth, maybe something cheesy from seeds. Her hands quick as a hummingbird. You're trying to keep up, but your dough's lumpy, and she's smirking like you're a kid with a toy metate. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec cooking show. Chop, grind, pray, with you flubbing the dough like. Is this a tortilla or a rock? You're grinning, but the kitchen's hum pulls you back. The corn's glow, its golden grains, is everywhere. On altars, in pots, in hands. You're hooked, ready to master the metate, to turn this sacred maize into a delicacy that's more than just dinner. You're still hunched over in the Aztec kitchen, the smoky warmth of Tenochtitlan wrapping around you. Your hands gritty from the corn dough clinging to your fingers. The metate's rough stone is cool under your palms, its rhythmic scrape echoing as Xochitl kneads beside you, her dough smooth while yours looks like a toddler's art project. You're about to dive deeper into mastering this metate, learning how to grind maize into the perfect dough for Aztec delicacies, the backbone of their nutritious diet. The air's thick with chili and maize, and you're pushing through aching arms, ready to shape corn into something sacred. The kitchen hums, clay pots simmering with beans and amaranth, as Xochitl shows you the metate's trick. Lean in, rock steady. Let the stone do the work. Historical records from the Mendoza Codex show Aztec women by the 15th century were experts at grinding maize on metates, turning it into dough for tamales and tortillas that fueled an empire. You're trying to match her rhythm, the corn grains crunching into a fine paste, but your back's screaming, and you're wondering how Xochitl does this daily. The dough's starting to smooth out, its earthy scent rising, and you're feeling a flicker of pride, like you're not totally hopeless. Here's the quirky bit. Some Aztecs believed the metate's grind echoed the heartbeat of the corn god, Tenochtitlan, like you're drumming a divine beat. You're picturing Tenochtitlan nodding, "Nice tempo, rookie," and you're grinning, though your arms beg to differ. But when Tenochtitlan murmurs a prayer to the maize, you're not joking. Historians still argue whether metate work was practical or ritual. Did it just make food, or was it a sacred act? You're leaning toward both. Xochitl's focus, like she's channeling a god, feels too profound for just cooking. You're scraping the dough now, the metate's groove slick with maize, as Xochitl hands you a clay bowl to collect it. You're trying to scoop neatly, but half your dough sticks, and she's smirking again, like you're flunking corn 1-on-1. You're tempted to cheat with a modern food processor, but the metate's pull is stronger. Its slow grind, its connection to every Tamil in this city. You're noticing other women, their metates singing in sync, a chorus of maize and muscle. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec gym, metate fitness. Grind your way to glory. You're chuckling, but the kitchen's heat grounds you. You're remembering that corn altar, Xochitl's reverence, and you're starting to see the metate as more than a tool. It's a bridge to the gods, to survival. You're kneading your dough now. The kitchen's firelight dancing on clay walls, the scent of roasting chilis sharpening your hunger. Xochitl's dough is perfect, ready for Tamils, while yours is getting there. You're struck by how this grind, this sweat, turns maize into life, nutrients, faith, family. You're ready to follow this dough to its next step, to see how it's blessed in a ritual that makes these delicacies more than just food, a gift from the gods themselves. You're still in the smoky Aztec kitchen, the metate's gritty rhythm fading as you clutch your lumpy corn dough, its earthy warmth sticking to your palms. Xochitl's beside you, her perfect dough ready for the next step, her eyes flicking to a small altar where maize kernels glow like tiny suns. You're about to join a ritual honoring these corn delicacies, a ceremony that blesses them with divine favor, tying your dough to the gods. The air's thick with chili and incense, the kitchen's firelight dancing, and you're stepping toward the altar, heart thudding, ready to feel the sacred pulse of Aztec life. The altar's draped in marigolds, a clay statue of Huitzilopochtli, the sun god, staring down as Xochitl places her dough beside maize offerings. Historical records from the Tovar Codex show Aztecs by the 15th century held rituals to bless corn-based foods, believing they carried divine energy to sustain warriors and priests. You're mimicking Xochitl, setting your dough down, its uneven shape glaringly amateur next to hers. A priestess named Citlali chants, her voice low and rhythmic, asking Huitzilopochtli to infuse the delicacies with strength. You're caught in the cadence, the words foreign but sinking into your bones, and you're trying not to drop your offering like a clumsy tourist. Here's the quirky bit. Some Aztecs swore the gods tasted the offerings first, nibbling the dough's essence before humans could eat. You're picturing Huitzilopochtli sneaking a tamal, muttering, "Needs more chili!" And you're stifling a grin. But when Citlali sprinkles maize kernels over your dough, her eyes fierce with focus, you're not laughing. Historians still argue whether these rituals were symbolic or literal. Did they just honor the gods, or did Aztecs believe the food gained real power? You're leaning toward both, the way Xochitl bows, like her dough's now sacred, feels too potent for just ceremony. You're standing closer now, The altar's marigold, scent sharp. As Citlali passes your dough through incense smoke, its curls rising like a prayer. You're noticing Xochitl's quiet pride, her hands steady, and you're trying to match her reverence, though your dough's lopsidedness is screaming, newbie. The chant swells, and you're feeling it. Maybe not the gods, but the weight of this moment, the trust that this dough will nourish body and soul. You're tempted to whisper your own prayer, but you'd probably mumble something about not burning dinner. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec Yelp for rituals, 5 stars, divine vibes, but bring better dough next time! You're smirking, but the altar's glow pulls you back. You're stepping back now, the ceremony winding down, the kitchen's warmth wrapping you again. Citlali places the blessed dough on a clay tray, ready for tamales, and you're struck by how this ritual transforms it. Food, yes, but also a gift from Huitzilopochtli. You're remembering the metate's grind, Xochitl's steady hands, and you're wondering how this dough becomes a delicacy, packed with nutrients to keep Aztecs thriving. Your hands are still maize, dusted, the altar's marigolds lingering in your nose, and you're ready to follow this dough to the next step, to wrap it into tamales that carry the gods' favor, and a cheesy, nutty kick. You're still in the Aztec kitchen, the altar's marigold scent fading as you cradle your blessed corn dough, its warmth soft from Citlali's ritual. Xochitl's beside you, her dough already shaped into neat mounds, while yours looks like it's plotting a breakout. You're about to wrap tamales, blending this sacred maize with protein, rich fillings to craft a delicacy that's both nutritious and divine. The air hums with chili and steam, the kitchen's firelight flickering, and you're diving in, hands trembling, ready to fold these tamales into steamy packets of Aztec ingenuity. Xochitl hands you a corn husk, its dry rustle loud, as she shows you how to spread the dough thin. Historical records from the Florentine Codex show Aztec tamales, by the 15th century, were a dietary staple, packed with maize, beans, amaranth, and sometimes a cheesy paste from seeds or nuts, delivering protein and carbs to fuel Tenochtitlan's bustle. You're smearing your dough, aiming for Xochitl's smooth layer. But it's patchy, and she's smirking like you're painting with mittens. You're adding a filling. Beans, chiles, and a nutty cheese, like mix that smells like earthy heaven. Your mouth watering despite the dough disaster. Here's the quirky bit. Some Aztecs believed tamales carried the gods' laughter, their steam rising as divine giggles. You're picturing Huitzilopochtli chuckling, "Nice try, kid!" as your tamal sags, and you're grinning despite the mess. But when Xochitl folds her husk tight, sealing the filling like a sacred gift, you're not joking. Historians still argue whether tamales were practical or ritual. Did they just nourish, or were they offerings to the gods? You're leaning toward both. The way Xochitl handles hers, like it's bound for an altar, feels too deep for just lunch. You're folding your tamal now, the husk crinkling as you try to mimic Xochitl's neat tuck. It's more burrito than tamal, and you're half sure it'll explode in the steamer. You're piling in more filling. Amaranth for protein, chiles for kick. And you're starting to get why these packets kept Aztecs thriving. You're tempted to sneak a taste, but Xochitl's watching, and you don't want to flunk tamal 101. The kitchen's steamy, clay pots hissing, and you're noticing other women, their tamales lined up like golden bricks. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec tamal contest, Master Rapper, with you disqualified for husk crimes. You're chuckling, but the steamer's heat pulls you back. You're placing your tamal in the pot now, its steam curling like Citlali's incense, the kitchen alive with maize and chatter. You're remembering the metates grind, the altar's marigolds, and you're seeing how each step, grinding, blessing, wrapping, makes this delicacy more than food. Xochitl's tamales are perfect, ready to feed family or gods, while yours might need a prayer to hold together. You're struck by the care, the science in these packets. Corn for carbs, beans for protein, nuts for that cheesy zing. You're ready to follow these tamales to the market to see how they're bartered in Tenochtitlan's bustling heart, carrying their sacred glow to every stall. You're stepping out of the steamy Aztec kitchen, the scent of tamales clinging to your clothes as you clutch a basket of your wobbly, blessed corn packets, their warmth seeping through the woven reeds. Xochitl's behind you, her own tamales stacked like treasures, her smirk hinting you're still the rookie rapper. You're heading to Tenochtitlan's bustling marketplace, where these corn delicacies are bartered for everything from cacao to feathers. Their cheesy, nutty goodness a currency of survival. The air buzzes with shouts and chilly smoke, and you're weaving through crowds, heart racing, ready to trade your tamales in this vibrant chaos. The market sprawls across a plaza, stalls piled with maize, obsidian blades, and shimmering quetzal plumes. Historical records from the Codex Boturini show Aztec markets by the 15th century were economic hubs where tamales and other corn delicacies were traded daily, their nutrient-packed fillings fueling merchants and warriors. You're clutching your basket, eyeing a trader with cacao beans, their bitter scent tempting you. Xochitl's already haggling, her tamales swapped for a clay jar of honey, and you're trying to channel her swagger, though your lopsided tamales scream, first-timer. You offer one to the cacao trader, and his raised eyebrow says you're not winning any deals yet. Here's the quirky bit. Some Aztecs believed tamales carried good fortune, like a tasty lucky charm. You're picturing your tamal winking. Trade me. I'm a winner! And you're grinning, hoping it's true. But when Xochitl tosses a tamal to a passing priest, a gesture of respect, you're not laughing. Historians still argue whether market trades were purely economic or ritualistic. Did tamales just buy goods, or seal social bonds? You're leaning toward both, the way the trader finally nods. Taking your tamal for a small sack of cacao feels like more than a swap. It's trust sealed with maize. You're weaving deeper into the market now. The crowds hum loud as you dodge a kid chasing a turkey. Your basket's lighter, tamales traded for chili powder and a tiny amaranth sack, and you're feeling a spark of Xochitl's hustle. Though your bartering's more fumble than finesse. You're tempted to eat one of your tamales, but the market's energy keeps you moving. The stalls brim with corn, tortillas, atole, tamales with that cheesy nut paste, and you're seeing how maize rules this place. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec market ad, Tamal Tuesday, buy one, bless one free! You're chuckling, but the trader's shout pulls you back. You're pausing by a stall now, its owner unwrapping a tamal like it's a gift, the steam curling like Citlali's incense. You're remembering the metate's grind, Huitzilopochtli's blessing, and you're struck by how these tamales carry it all. Nutrition, faith, community. Xochitl's trading her last one for a turquoise bead, her grin fierce. And you're learning fast, a good tamal opens doors. Your basket's nearly empty, the market's pulse thrumming, and you're ready to explore how Aztecs bred this maize, turning it into a science that made these delicacies the empire's heartbeat. You're weaving out of Tenochtitlan's bustling marketplace, the clamor of traders fading, as you clutch a small sack of cacao from your tamal trades, its bitter scent mingling with the chilly dust on your hands. Xochitl's ahead, her turquoise bead glinting, her empty basket swinging like a badge of her market hustle. You're heading to a lush chinampa, one of the Aztecs' floating gardens, where maize grows tall and golden. You're about to explore how Aztecs bred this corn, turning it into a science that fueled their nutritious delicacies, like those cheesy tamales you bartered. The air's fresh with lake water and earth, and you're stepping onto the squishy soil, ready to dig into the roots of this empire's lifeblood. The Chinampa's canals shimmer, maize stalks swaying as a farmer named Tlaculo tends them, his hands deftly checking kernels. Historical records from the Codex Fagi Arborii Mayer show Aztecs by the 14th century mastered selective breeding, cultivating maize varieties rich in nutrients like carbs and niacin, perfect for tamales and tortillas. You're brushing a maize cob, its golden grains firm, and Tlaculo explains how his ancestors picked the strongest plants, boosting yields to feed Tenochtitlan's millions. You're trying to grasp the science, but your brain's stuck on how your lumpy tamales started here, in this muddy miracle of a garden. Here's the quirky bit. Some Aztecs believed maize plants whispered growing tips to farmers like chatty green mentors. You're picturing a corn stalk muttering, "More water, Tlaculo, don't skimp." And you're grinning like it's an Aztec sitcom. But when Tlaculo scatters maize kernels as an offering to Tenochtitlan, you're not laughing. Historians still argue whether maize breeding was pure science or spiritual. Did Aztecs just track traits, or did they think gods guided their crops? You're leaning toward both. Tlaculo's reverence, like he's thanking the plants, feels too deep for just botany. You're crouching now, the Chinampa's soil cool, as Tlaculo shows you a maize variety. Small, but packed with flavor for that nutty, cheesy paste. You're trying to spot the difference, but all maize looks golden to you, and he's smirking like you're a city kid lost in a field. You're tempted to ask for a maize breeding cheat sheet, but the Chinampa's hum, water birds, rustling stalks, keeps you grounded. You're remembering Xochitl's metate, Citlali's altar prayers, and you're seeing how this maize, bred for strength, becomes tamales that feed body and soul. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec maize lab, corn tech, kernels of the future! You're chuckling, but Tlaculo's hands pull you back. You're walking the Chinampa's edge now, canals glinting as maize towers overhead, its roots drinking deep. Tlaculo's talking about drought-resistant strains, how they saved harvests when rains failed, and you're struck by the science. Centuries before labs, Aztecs engineered their survival. You're recalling those market tamales, their cheesy filling, and you're wondering how this maize pairs with mole, that rich sauce you've smelled simmering. Your sack of cacao feels heavy, a hint of the next delicacy, and you're ready to stir a mole, blending corn's legacy with Aztec flavor in a dish that's pure magic. You're stepping off the Chinampa's squishy soil, the maize stalk's golden glow fading as you follow Xochitl back to the smoky Aztec kitchen, your sack of cacao beans rattling from that market hustle. The air shifts from earthy lake to chili and wood smoke, and you're clutching the memory of Tlaculo's maize, bred for the tamales you wrapped. You're about to stir a mole sauce, pairing it with a corn-based cheesy delicacy, blending the empire's flavors into a dish that's both nourishment and art. The kitchen's firelight dances, pots simmering, and you're diving in, hands shaky, ready to craft a sauce that's as divine as Citlali's prayers. Xochitl hands you a clay bowl of toasted chelis, their smoky sting making your eyes water as she shows you how to grind them with cacao and nuts. Historical records from the Codex Nuttall show Aztec mole, by the 15th century, was a culinary masterpiece, often paired with corn delicacies like tamales or tortillas, enriched with seed-based cheese for protein and flavor. You're pounding the chiles, aiming for Xochitl's smooth paste, but your mix is chunky, and she's smirking like you're inventing gravel soup. The cacao's bitter edge blends with the nuts' creamy tang, and you're starting to smell the mole's magic, your stomach growling loud enough to wake Huitzilopochtli. Here's the quirky bit: some Aztecs believed mole was a gift from the gods, its recipe whispered during a divine cooking class. You're picturing Sentiel stirring a pot, saying, "More cacao, mortals!" And you're grinning, though your arms beg for a break. But when Xochitl drizzles the mole over a corn tortilla topped with cheesy amaranth paste, you're not joking. Historians still argue whether mole was everyday fare or sacred. Did it just spice up meals, or was it a ritual offering? You're leaning toward both. Xochitl's care, like she's crafting an altar gift, feels too holy for just dinner. You're stirring the mole now, the clay pot's heat prickling your knuckles as you add ground maize to thicken it, a nod to Tlaculo's Chinampa crops. You're trying to keep the sauce smooth, but it's bubbling like a tiny volcano, and you're half sure you'll burn it. You're tempted to taste it, but Xochitl's watching, and you don't want to flunk Mole 101. The kitchen's alive with steam and chatter, women shaping tortillas, and you're noticing a tamal from your earlier batch, its husk peeking out like a shy god. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec cooking app. "Mola made sauce like a god!" You're chuckling, but the pot's simmer pulls you back. You're ladling the mole over a cheesy corn tortilla now, its nutty paste melting under the sauce's heat, the kitchen's firelight glinting on clay. You're remembering the metate's grind, Citlali's altar blessings, and you're seeing how this mole, maize, nuts, cacao, carries the Aztec science and soul. Xochitl's sauce is flawless, ready for a feast, while yours might need a prayer to taste divine. You're struck by the layers. Corn for strength, cheese for protein, mole for flavor. A delicacy born of ingenuity. You're ready to pat tortillas to master their toasty craft, carrying this corn legacy into every bite. You're still in the smoky Aztec kitchen, the mole's rich aroma lingering as you lick a stray bit of sauce from your fingers. Its chili, cacao kick tingling your tongue. Xochitl's beside you, her flawless mole steaming in a clay pot, while your lumpy version simmers like a grumpy volcano. You're about to pat tortillas, mastering their toasty craft, turning the sacred maize from Tlacuilo's Chinampa into flatbreads that anchor Aztec meals with cheesy, nutty toppings. The kitchen's firelight flickers, the air thick with maize and steam, and you're grabbing a ball of dough. Hands jittery, ready to shape a tortilla that won't embarrass you in front of Huitzilopochtli. Xochitl hands you a dough ball, its warmth soft from the metate's grind, and shows you how to pat it flat on a como, the clay griddle sizzling over the fire. Historical records from the Codex Borgia show tortillas by the 15th century were a daily staple, made from nixtamalized maize for extra nutrients, often topped with cheesy amaranth or seed pastes for protein. You're slapping the dough, aiming for Xochitl's perfect circle, but yours looks like a wobbly moon, and she's smirking like you're sculpting a mud pie. The como's heat stings your knuckles, and you're smelling the tortilla's toasty magic, your stomach begging for a bite. Here's the quirky bit. Some Aztecs believed tortillas held the sun's warmth, like tiny edible solar panels. You're picturing Huitzilopochtli munching one, saying, "Tastes like my rays!" And you're grinning, though your tortilla's edges are curling like a bad hair day. But when Xochitl flips hers, golden and crisp, you're not laughing. Historians still argue whether tortillas were just food or sacred. Did they only fill bellies or carry divine essence? You're leaning toward both. Xochitl's reverence, like she's crafting a holy disk, feels too deep for just breakfast. You're patting faster now. The comos sizzle loud as you try to flatten your dough without tearing it. It's more pancake than tortilla, and you're half sure it'll flop like your tamal did. You're spreading a cheesy nut paste on it, its earthy tang blending with the maize, and you're starting to get why these flatbreads were Aztec gold. Carbs, protein, flavor in one bite. You're tempted to sneak a nibble, but Xochitl's watching, and you don't want to flunk Tortilla 101, the kitchen steamy, women flipping tortillas in sync. And you're noticing your mole pot, its sauce waiting to crown these discs. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec tortilla gym. Como cardio. Pat till you pop! You're chuckling, but the griddle's heat pulls you back. You're sliding your tortilla off the como now, its toasty spots uneven but edible. The kitchen's chatter a warm hum. You're remembering Citlali's altar prayers, Tlaculo's maize, and you're seeing how each step, grinding blessing, toasting, makes this tortilla a lifeline. Xochitl's stack is perfect, ready for a feast, while yours might need a mole bath to shine. You're struck by the science. Nixtamal for nutrients, cheese for protein. A delicacy born of brains and belief. You're ready to dive into the debates over corn's power, to ponder why scholars can't agree on its role in Aztec survival. You're still in the Aztec kitchen, the como's toasty heat fading as you cradle your uneven tortilla. It's nutty, cheesy topping warm under your fingers, the mole's spicy tang lingering in the air. Xochitl's beside you, her perfect tortilla stacked ready for a feast, while your wobbly disc looks like it's auditioning for abstract art. You're about to ponder the scholarly debates, swirling around corn's power, questioning whether it was the nutritional backbone of the Aztec Empire or something more divine. The kitchen's firelight dances, chilly smoke tickling your nose, and you're sinking into thought, tortilla in hand, ready to wrestle with questions that stump historians. The kitchen's hum softens, clay pots simmering as you lean against a wall, the tortilla's warmth grounding you. Historical records from the Codex Mendoza show maize by the 15th century was the Aztec diet's cornerstone, providing carbs and niacin through nixtamalization, fueling Tenochtitlan's warriors and priests. You're picturing Tlaculo's chinampa, those golden cobs bred for strength, and Xochitl's tamales, packed with cheesy protein. But scholars can't agree. Was corn just a superfood or a sacred force? You're nibbling your tortilla, its toasty crunch, sparking the debate, and you're wondering if its power lies in calories or something deeper, like Citlali's prayers. Here's the quirky bit. Some Aztecs swore maize could speak to the gods, its kernels carrying prayers skyward. You're imagining a cob whispering, "Tell Huitzilopochtli we need rain." And you're grinning like it's an Aztec hotline. But when Xochitl sprinkles maize on an altar, you're not laughing. Historians still argue whether corn's dominance was practical or spiritual. Did it sustain the empire through science, or bind it through faith? You're leaning toward both. Xochitl's reverence, like she's handling a divine gift, feels too potent for just nutrition. You're munching your tortilla now, the cheesy amaranth paste blending with mole's cacao kick. and you're trying to unravel the puzzle. The maize's strength: carbs, protein, niacin, powered an empire, no question. You're recalling Tlaculo's breeding tricks, how they boosted yields, and you're thinking this is science, plain and simple. But Citlali's altar, Mali's blessings over the dough, make you pause. Was it the god's favor that kept bellies full? You're tempted to ask Sakitl, but she's busy shaping more tortillas. And you're pretty sure she just shrugged, it's maize. The kitchen's steamy, women's chatter a soft hum, and you're seeing corn everywhere. Tamales, tortillas, atoll, like a golden thread. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec corn conference. Maize summit, calories or cosmos? With you heckling, both, dough. You're smirking, but the debate's gripping you. You're standing now, brushing crumbs off your hands, the tortilla's cheesy warmth settling in your stomach. You're remembering the market's bustle. Those tamales traded like gold, and you're struck by maize's reach. Chinampa to kitchen to altar. Sakitl's stacking her tortillas, her mole pot simmering, and you're wondering how corn shaped every meal, every ritual. Your tortilla's gone, but its glow lingers, a spark of Aztec ingenuity and faith. You're ready to see how these delicacies wove into daily life, how tamales and cheesy tortillas became the heartbeat of meals and offerings across Tenochtitlan. You're lingering in the Aztec kitchen, the firelight's glow softening as you brush mole crumbs from your fingers, the cheesy tortilla's warmth still settling in your stomach. Zuckertl's nearby, stacking her perfect tortillas, her mole pot simmering with that cacao chili kick you can't forget. You're about to see how corn delicacies like these tamales and cheesy tortillas weave into the daily life of Tenochtitlan, shaping every meal, offering, and moment with their sacred glow. The air's thick with maize and smoke. The kitchens hum a steady pulse, and you're stepping into the rhythm of Aztec days, ready to taste the heartbeat of their world. The kitchen opens to a courtyard, where Xochitl's family gathers around a low table, tamales steaming in husks, tortillas topped with cheesy amaranth paste. Historical records from the Codex Magliabechiano show corn-based delicacies were central to Aztec daily life by the 15th century, served at every meal and offered to gods, packed with nutrients like carbs, protein, and niacin to sustain a bustling empire. You're sitting cross-legged, Xochitl handing you a tamal, its husk warm as you peel it, the cheesy filling's nutty scent making your mouth water. You're trying to eat gracefully, but the filling dribbles, and Xochitl's kid giggles like you're a messy toddler. Here's the quirky bit. Some Aztecs believed eating tamales strengthened your spirit, like a soul-boosting snack. You're picturing your tamal flexing, "Eat me, get godly!" And you're grinning, though your sticky fingers beg to differ. But when Xochitl places a tortilla on a small altar, you're not laughing. Historians still argue whether corn delicacies were just sustenance or sacred. Did they only feed bodies or nourish the divine? You're leaning toward both, the way Xochitl's family bows before eating, like the meal's a prayer, feels too deep for just calories. You're munching your tamal now, the beans and cheesy paste blending with chili's heat, and you're noticing how every bite ties to the work you've seen. Tlacuilo's maize, Citlali's blessings, Xochitl's metate grind. You're trying to keep up with the family's chatter, but your nahual's non-existent, and you're nodding like you get it, hoping you're not agreeing to wash dishes. You're tempted to grab another tortilla, but the table's piled high, and you're already stuffed. The courtyard's alive with kids playing, elders sipping atoll, and you're seeing corn everywhere, meals, offerings, even maize kernels tucked into a child's toy. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec meal plan, tamal diet carbs,
cheese, and divine vibes.
You're chuckling, but the table's warmth pulls you back. You're standing now, helping clear the table, tamal husks rustling as Xochitl saves some for tomorrow's meal. You're remembering the market's bustle. Those tamales traded like gold, and you're struck by how these delicacies shape every moment. Breakfast, altar offerings, family bonds. Xochitl's wrapping leftover, cheesy tortillas, her hands quick. And you're learning corn isn't just food, it's life, from chinampa to plate. Your stomach's full, the kitchen's glow fading, and you're ready to follow these delicacies along Aztec trade routes to see how tamales and cheesy tortillas carried Tenochtitlan's flavor far beyond its canals. You're slipping out of Xochitl's courtyard, the tamal's cheesy warmth still cozy in your belly as you weave through Tenochtitlan's canal-lined streets, the night air cool with lake mist. Your hands are maize, dusted from tortillas, and Xochitl's laughter echoes behind you, her family's meal a glowing memory. You're about to follow Aztec corn delicacies along trade routes, where tamales and cheesy tortillas carried Tenochtitlan's flavor to distant markets, their nutritious punch as prized as jade. The city hums with torchlight and chatter, and you're trudging toward a bustling trade post, ready to trace these delicacies' journey across the empire. The trade post sprawls by a canal, canoes piled with maize, cacao, and feather cloaks, traders shouting in Nahuatl under starlight. Historical records from the Codex Aztecatlan show Aztec trade networks by the 15th century stretched from the Gulf Coast to Guatemala, with corn delicacies like tamales and cheesy tortillas traded for obsidian, cotton, and salt, their protein, carb mix fueling merchants and allies. You're clutching an imaginary tamal, eyeing a trader with a turquoise necklace, his gaze sizing up your offering. Xochitl's voice rings in your head, haggle like you mean it. But your tamal's lopsided, and you're half sure he'll laugh you off the dock. Here's the quirky bit. Some traders swore tamales sealed deals better than gold, like a tasty handshake. You're picturing your tamal winking, "I'm your deal closer, pal." And you're grinning hoping it's true. But when a merchant trades a cheesy tortilla for a sack of salt, you're not joking. Historians still argue whether these trades were economic or cultural. Did delicacies just buy goods or strengthen ties between cities? You're leaning toward both, the way the trader unwraps the tortilla, sniffing its nutty paste like it's a contract, feels too meaningful for just barter. You're bartering now. The canals ripple loud as you offer your tamal for a small clay jar of chili powder. The trader nods, and you're feeling a spark of Xochitl's market swagger, though your haggling's more flail than finesse. You're dodging a canoe paddler, his load of tortillas teetering, and you're seeing corn everywhere. Tamales in baskets, cheesy flatbreads on trays. You're tempted to trade for another, but your arms are full, and you're already dreaming of mole. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec trade app.
Tamal swap, spice up your deals!
You're chuckling, but the trader's shout pulls you back. You're pausing by the canal now, the chili jar heavy, your tamal gone to a happy trader. You're remembering Tlaculo's chinampa maize, Citlali's altar blessings, and you're struck by how these delicacies travel. Kitchen to market to distant shores, carrying Aztec science and soul. Xochitl's cheesy tortillas, traded like gold in the market, shine here too, their nutty paste a taste of Tenochtitlan. The trade post's pulse thrums, and you're ready to dance at a corn festival. to savor these tamales under the gods' gaze, where their glow lights up the empire's heart. You're drifting away from Tenochtitlan's trade post, the canal's cool mist kissing your skin as you clutch your chili jar, the smoky tang of traded tamales still lingering on your tongue. The city's torchlights fade behind you, and Zacatel's market swagger echoes in your steps as you head toward a vibrant plaza, aglow with marigolds and music. You're about to dance at a corn festival, savoring cheesy tamales under the gods' gaze, where these delicacies shine as offerings and feasts, binding Aztecs to their maize-hearted world. The air hums with drums and chili, and you're stepping into the crowd, heart-pounding, ready to taste the empire's joy. The plaza pulses with dancers in feathered cloaks, their steps shaking the earth as tamales steam on clay trays, their cheesy, nutty fillings drawing hungry eyes. Historical records from the Codex Bourbonicus show corn festivals by the 15th century were major Aztec events, honoring Sentinel with maize delicacies like tamales and tortillas, their nutrients, carbs, protein, niacin, celebrated as divine gifts. You're grabbing a tamal, its husk warm, and peeling it to reveal that familiar cheesy amaranth paste, your mouth watering as drums throb. You're trying to dance, but your moves are more flail than flair, and a kid nearby giggles like you're a turkey on the loose. Here's the quirky bit. Some Aztecs believed tamales at festivals fed the gods' souls, like a cosmic potluck. You're picturing Huitzilopochtli munching.
These tamales!
Heaven! And you're grinning, though your dance steps beg for mercy. But when a priest scatters maize kernels over a tamal altar, you're not laughing. Historians still argue whether festivals were social or sacred. Did they just unite communities, or channel divine power? You're leaning toward both, the way Zacatel, weaving through the crowd, offers her cheesy tortilla to a priestess, feels too holy for just a party. You're swaying now, the plaza's heat wrapping you, as you bite into your tamal. It's chili, cheese kick blending with the festival's pulse. You're trying to match the dancer's rhythm, but your feet tangle, and you're half sure you'll topple a tamal tray. You're remembering Citlali's altar prayers, Tlaculo's chinampamais, and you're seeing how this festival ties it all, kitchen, market, gods, into one steamy, cheesy bite. You're tempted to grab another tamal, but the crowd's thick, and you're already stuffed. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec festival app, Cornfest dance.
Eat, pray, repeat!
You're chuckling, but the drum's beat pulls you back. You're pausing by the altar now, marigolds glowing as tamales pile high, their steam curling like Citlali's incense. You're noticing Xochitl dancing, her turquoise bed glinting, and you're struck by how these delicacies, maize, cheese, chili, fuel this joy, this faith. Your tamal's gone, its warmth settling, and you're wondering how this festival's glow survived the Spanish, who reshaped Aztec corn traditions. The plaza's alive, drums echoing, and you're ready to witness that change, to see how tamales and cheesy tortillas faced a new world, their legacy bending but never breaking. You're swaying in the fading glow of Tenochtitlan's corn festival, the plaza's marigold scent and drumbeats lingering, as you clutch a stray tamal husk, its cheesy warmth a memory of the dance. Xochitl's turquoise glints nearby, her laughter blending with the crowd as you slip away, the night air cool with lake mist. You're about to witness the Spanish impact on Aztec corn delicacies, how conquistadors reshaped tamales and cheesy tortillas, bending traditions but never breaking their maize-hearted soul. The city's canals shimmer under moonlight, and you're trudging toward a changed world, ready to see these delicacies evolve, under a new shadow. You're standing in a quieter Tenochtitlan, years later, where Spanish boots echo and church bells clang over temple ruins. Historical records from the Codex Abencho Spanish conquest by the 16th century introduced wheat and dairy, altering Aztec diets, but maize delicacies like tamales and tortillas, packed with niacin and protein, endured, adapted with new cheeses like queso fresco. You're in a hybrid kitchen now, Xucattl's descendant, perhaps mixing maize dough with cow's milk cheese. Her tamal is still steaming, but tinged with Spanish flair. You're trying a bite. The queso's creamy tang, odd but tasty. And you're wondering how Aztecs kept their corn soul amid such change. Here's the quirky bit: some Aztecs believed maize resisted Spanish crops, like a stubborn god refusing to bow. You're picturing a corn cob snubbing wheat.
I'm the real deal, amigo!
And you're grinning, though the kitchen's somber. But when Xochitl's kin offers a tamal to a makeshift centennial altar, you're not laughing. Historians still argue whether this blending was forced or chosen. Did Aztecs adapt willingly, or cling to maize under pressure? You're leaning toward both. The way she kneads dough, like Xochitl's metate days, feels too fierce for just survival. You're helping wrap tamales now, the corn husks crinkling as you spread dough, the queso fresco odd next to amaranth's nutty paste. You're trying to fold neatly, but your tamal's lopsided, and Xochitl's kin smirks, echoing her ancestors' tease. You're tempted to stick to tortillas, but the kitchen's hum, maize, chili, new cheese, keeps you going. You're noticing Spanish wheat bread on a table, its pale crust out of place, and you're seeing how maize holds strong, tamales still steaming for feasts and altars. Let's toss in a joke.
Imagine an Aztec Spanish cook-off. Tamal this, pan maize always wins!
You're chuckling, but the pot's steam pulls you back. You're tasting a tamal now, it's queso. Cheese blends strange but grounding. The mazes glow unbroken despite Spanish hands. You're remembering Tlacuilo's chinampa, Citlali's prayers, the festival's drums, and you're struck by how these delicacies endure. Kitchen to market to conquest, carrying Aztec science and faith. Xochitl's kin stacks tortillas, her mole simmering with cacao, and you're wondering how this legacy lives today in modern hands, reviving tamales and cheesy tortillas. The kitchen's firelight fades, the city's pulse shifting, and you're ready to meet those chefs, to see mazes spark flare again in a new world. You're stepping out of the hybrid Aztec kitchen, the queso, tinged tamal's warmth fading in your stomach as you leave Xochitl's kin and her maize, dusted hands behind, the Spanish altered Tenochtitlan growing quiet under a starry sky. The city's canals ripple, church bells a distant clang, and you're carrying the memory of cheesy tortillas through time, landing in a modern Mexican kitchen where the air hums with chili and maize. You're about to meet chefs reviving Aztec corn delicacies, blending ancient tamales and nutty tortillas with today's flavors, keeping the empire's spark alive. The kitchen's bright with electric light, and you're diving in, heart racing, ready to taste the past reborn. You're standing by a stainless steel counter where a chef named Itzel grinds maize on a modern metate, her hands steady like Xochitl's, crafting dough for tamales with amaranth, cheese, and mole. Historical efforts to preserve Aztec cuisine, noted in Mexican culinary archives, show a revival since the 20th century, with chefs embracing nixtamalized maize and seed-based paste for their carb protein punch, echoing Tenochtitlan's science. You're watching Itzel wrap a tamal, its husk neat, and you're trying to mimic her, but your dough's lumpy, and she's smirking like you're channeling your old tamal flops. The maize's earthy scent fills the air, and you're hungry for its glow. Here's the quirky bit some chefs claim: maize sings when ground, like a nod from Sentiol in the blender. You're picturing a cob humming?
Grant me, I'm a hit.
And you're grinning, though your arms ache from the matate. But when Itzel sprinkles maize on a small altar, you're not laughing. Historians still argue whether this revival is authentic or nostalgic. Does it honor Aztec science, or just romanticize the past? You're leaning toward both. Itzel's focus, like Citlali's prayers, feels too fierce for mere sentiment. You're spreading dough now, the kitchen's heat prickling, as Itzel adds a cheesy paste. Amaranth and nuts, no queso this time, to your tamal. You're trying to fold it, but it's wobbly, and you're half sure it'll burst like your festival dance moves. You're tempted to cheat with a tortilla press, but the metate's pull, maize, muscle memory, keeps you grinding. The kitchen's alive with sizzles, Itzel shaping tortillas for a mole drizzle, and you're seeing Tlaculo's Chinampa, Xochitl's market hustle, reborn here. Let's toss in a joke. Imagine an Aztec food vlog, tamal time with Itzel. Like and subscribe! You're chuckling, but the steamer's hiss pulls you back. You're tasting a tamal now. It's nutty. Cheese, blending with mole's cacao kick. The mazes glow unchanged from Tenochtitlan's kitchens. You're remembering the festival's marigolds, Spanish quesos creep, and you're struck by how these delicacies endure. Chinampa to conquest to now, carrying Aztec brains and belief. Itzel's tortillas stack high, her mole simmering, and you're ready to hold a tamal close, to feel its ancient pulse guide you into dreams where corn's legacy shines, a spark linking past to present, ready to light your tomorrow. You're lingering in Itzel's modern Mexican kitchen, the tamal's nutty warmth settling in your belly as you cradle its husk, the mole's cacao, chili tang still dancing on your tongue. Itzel's nearby, stacking her flawless tortillas, her metate gleaming under electric light, a quiet nod to Xochitl's ancient grind. You're about to hold a tamal close, feeling its ancient pulse guide you into dreams where corn's legacy, Aztec science, faith, and flavor, shines on, linking Chinampa to today. The kitchen's hum softens, chili smoke fading, and you're sinking into the maize's glow, ready to let it light your sleep. The kitchen's warmth wraps you, the tamal's husk a soft anchor, its cheesy amaranth heart pulsing with centuries of Aztec ingenuity. Historical records from Tenochtitlan's fall show maize delicacies endured conquest, their carb-protein punch adapted, revived, and cherished from Tlaculo's Chinampa to Itzel's counter. You're picturing Citlali's marigold prayers, Xochitl's market hustle, the festival's drums, each woven into this tamal, now joined by Itzel's revival. It's not just food, it's a thread binding warriors, priests, and you with maize's golden strength. Your tamal feels alive, its warmth a whisper, urging you to carry its spark beyond this night. Here's a quirky thought to ease you. Some say tamals dream of feasts, their husks rustling with godly laughter. You're smiling, imagining your tamal murmuring,
More mole, please!
but when you trace its husk, feeling Itzel's craft, you're not giggling. Historians still argue whether corn's legacy is science or spirit. Did maize feed empires with niacin, or glow with divine favor? You're sure it's both, the way Itzel honors her metate, like Xochitl, feels too true for one answer. Close your eyes, feel the tamal's pulse. It's your light now, an Aztec whisper for your dreams. You're curling deeper into the kitchen's glow, the tamal's story of Chinampas, markets, conquest, revival, cradling you like a lullaby. You're seeing Tlaculo's maize, Citlali's altar, Xochitl's grin, Itzel's hands, all tied to this warmth. Let the Tamel rest against you, its huska soft hum, like Melee's chant reborn. You're not an Aztec, but you've ground their maize, danced their feasts, tasted their soul. Maybe tomorrow you'll face your own battles. A tough day, a quiet doubt. With a flicker of Xochitl's swagger, Itzel's hope. Your Tamal's a reminder you're stronger than you know. One last giggle picture an Aztec dream app. Tamal Tales, 100% God-approved sleep. The nights enfolding you, stars fading into your mind's haze. Your Tamal's glow lingers, linking you to Tlaculo, Citlali, Xochitl, Itzel, and maize that's fed empires forever. Let it guide you now, not through markets but into rest, where battles are just whispers. Snuggle close, let the kitchen's hum carry you, the Tamal's warmth your beacon. Its legacy's yours, a spark for tomorrow's fires, glowing soft as you drift. Good night, and may mazes glow light your dreams. You're drifting now. The kitchen's hum a distant murmur, like a lullaby sung by starlit canals. The Tamal's glow softens in your mind, its husk curling into dreams where maize fields sway and feasts never end. Feel your breath deepen, each exhale sinking you into a quiet plaza. The Tamal's warmth a blanket woven from Tlaculo's crops, Citlali's prayers, Xochitl's hustle, Itzel's revival. You're safe here, wrapped in their legacy, a spark that's crossed centuries to light your rest. No battles tonight, just the maize's whisper, the stars glint, carrying you to a place where Tamal's steam and tortillas sing softly. Let worries slip, like husks peeled free, and trust the Tamal's ancient pulse to guide you. The Aztec's strength, their golden glow, is yours now, a whisper to wake with, calm and sure. Drift deeper, the world fading, only the Tamal's glow lingering, a star in your heart. Sleep soft, dream bright, and let the maize carry you home. Good night,